Hello everyone, I'm Silvia,
I'm Michal.
I'm Minori.
And I'm Wik.
and today we are going to be interviewing this amazing couple. We have been staying here with them in Japan, in Fukushima Prefecture, and they have this amazing community, this project that they are starting. That's called Dana Village, and it's in this beautiful place in the mountains, and we have so many things to learn from them, and we have been feeling so inspired by spending this time with them. And today we're going to be asking them some questions about their relationship with each other, about parenting, because they also have a child which is not here with us today, but she's adorable. And they're also going to be talking to us about community building and this project that they are building here in Dana Village.
So, let's begin and maybe just ask you at first, where are you guys from?
I'm from Japan.
And I'm from the Netherlands.
Wow, so how did you meet?
Yeah, we met in Oroville in India.
Yeah, Oroville is like a intentional community, one of the biggest in the world. And we are working on the same organic farm there.
Yeah, he was just being as a volunteer. I was also. And then we got to know each other in very beautiful organic farm community. And then we're here.
Cool.
Wow.
I didn't know this actually.
Yeah.
So how did you end up living together in Japan? How did this happen?
So Minori told me that she wanted to start a project like you're doing now, and because it's in Japan, I came to Japan to help her support that project. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it was you had already started it.
Yeah, I had an idea to start the
Okay.
community, and he said he wants to help that project.
Cool.
Support it. Yeah.
Wow. So, Wik, how was this transition to become a member of Japanese society?
Well, when I first came to Japan, I didn't live in the city at all. I went straight to the countryside where Minori's family lives, and yeah, I lived with her family and slowly got used to the customs and everything involved, and I think that really helped me to settle.
Okay. So you kind of straight became a member of a Japanese family.
Yeah. It was a great way to get to know her family as well. Yeah.
So when you moved in here, you were already together, as in a couple.
Yeah.
So would you like to tell us a little bit more about Dana Village and what it is?
Yeah, so Dana Village has two parts. One part as as an intentional community, and the second part is as a holistic retreat center. So as an intentional community, like we want to create a society with with all lives lives how they are in harmony. Sorry.
In harmony with one another.
Yeah, sorry, I laughed because I couldn't say some specific part in good way of English. We practice better.
You're like, oh no, I practiced it. It's the time now to say it.
Yeah, and as a holistic retreat center, we want to provide holistic health for the people.
Amazing. And how did you start this project? What made you start?
Yeah, so we started like 2 years back, and then my intention was bring more consciousness in this world, and then I thought, how can I bring the consciousness in this world? We should have more conscious people in this whole world, and since I was a teenager, I always thinking how I can make the world better place and solve all the social issues. So because of that, I studied a lot, and I learned like different approaches. But then it brought me to study nursing to have like skills to help people directly. But when I was working as a nurse, I found like just waiting people in a hospital doesn't really help people really, like, because it doesn't bring the solution, but just we feel like we are treating people who always like come back to the hospital. So then in 2011, like as you know, like we had a huge tsunami in Japan, and we also had nuclear power plant like was destroyed, and it gave like huge like negative impact to whole world actually. So then because of that, I thought like we have, instead of I solve each one of the problem, we have to have like more people who is aware of like what's happening in the world, and also bringing like real sustainability to the world. Then like somebody like advised me to go to Oroville, which he said like the biggest intentional community in the world, and I've been there and lived like about 2 years. Then I had like more clear idea to start a Dana village.
Wow. Sounds like quite a long journey.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
So, what kind of activities do you organize in Dana Village, and how do they benefit the community?
So we mainly do farming, yoga, and healthy diet. The three most important parts of Dana village. And how they benefit,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah. So the benefit, it's balancing your autonomic nervous system. Like many people who have city lifestyle, you might lose like connection with nature, and you might wake up without like sunlight, and you go to the company without getting any connection with nature. But if you while we organize a retreat, we wake up like 5 in the morning, like it's almost the same as sunrise, and then we do farming from the morning. So by getting sunlight, you also maintain the circulation of melatonin, which you might heard about. So by maintain the secretion of melatonin, it also it helps your sleeping qualities, and also it helps your growth hormone to produce like regularly. So it like also helps like serotonin to have, and then it to increase your like happiness feeling and those things. So by combine all these three things, farming and acro yoga and the healthy diet, we want them to balance their autonomic nervous system, and also having good metabolism by having healthy food, and connect with themselves and with other people by doing acro yoga.
Wow, it sounds like quite a complex approach, and really
Yeah.
putting so many different things together.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I remember when we were talking the other day, you mentioned that there's actually a medical condition related not to be connected with nature.
Yeah. It calls nature deficit syndrome, and which is studied to say by physician in U.S. 2005, I think, and he said like because of the lack of the nature connection with the nature, like people started to be more like hyperactive, or like getting depression, or having sleeping disorder, or having like indigestion and all those symptoms.
Wow.
Yeah.
And the Dana village provides some kind of alternative to
Yeah.
that, and a solution.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
Exactly.
yeah, so recently we had one participant to the retreat, and she said she had a constipation for a long time, like almost entire her life. But after she joins the retreat, she said she started to have like a very good elimination and having a very happy life.
Wow,
Yeah.
it's so cool.
Wow.
Yeah, we are so happy to hear that.
And it's amazing that you organize retreats and events here, and that you take into consideration the holistic part of it, how they connect with nature, this whole rhythm of waking up with the sun,
Yeah.
and connecting with the nature through farming, but also connecting with yourselves through yoga and acro yoga and the healthy diet. Yeah, that's so cool.
Thank you.
And on the other hand, it seems like quite a lot of different things.
Yeah.
So while you manage such a big project with so many different aspects, how do you manage to maintain a good relationship between the two of you?
I think the most important part is that we create time for each other.
Yeah. If we don't take time for each other, we often have miscommunication. But so we try to take even like a minute's break or like 5 minutes to not do any other work, but like stay together.
Wow.
And very much relate to that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So you also have a 1-year-old daughter, almost 1-year-old daughter.
Yeah.
And how do you take advantage of the fact that you both come from such different cultural backgrounds? How do you take advantage of that to make her education rich and complete?
Me. I think one very mostly obvious factor is that we speak different languages and we try to teach her all those languages. So Japanese, English, and Dutch. And we think it will really benefit her in the future.
Yeah, for me, I thought the good thing is we can be very neutral and flexible for to the way we look after her. Because I think if we have only like Japanese like couple, we have tendency to be very strict to what we have to follow. We have so many informations and so many people around, and they say, oh, you should do this and this, start the food in this time, and have to wrap her in with very warm clothes. But it's not always true, and because we have different culture but different backgrounds, we don't always follow any of those, and we can just be creative and also think like what is really benefit for her. Yeah, I think it's a good part.
Nice.
And what is the biggest challenge you face as parents?
What was it?
Biggest challenge? Yeah, during the time that she didn't go to kindergarten yet, we were so busy with taking care of her that we didn't have time for ourselves. And it caused a lot of miscommunication and maybe unnecessary stress. I think that was the most challenging part.
Yeah, just to look after her, she was very healthy and very cute, so wasn't very difficult, but mostly our maintain our relationship was the difficult part.
And how old was she when she went to kindergarten?
Recently,
10 months.
10 months.
10 months.
Yeah.
So quite young.
Yeah.
Is that how it usually works in Japan?
It's very depend. Like some people start to bring the baby like 6 months or even earlier. Yeah.
Wow.
Basically 6 months, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's very early.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
So now you are happy with the amount of time that you spend with her and how that's and the balance between the time you spend for the community and for your relationship and the time you spend with her.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Actually,
I think we
yeah.
have a good balance right now.
Yeah. Yeah, please say to the kindergarten in that sense. Yes.
But you also mentioned the other day that there are some practices in the kindergarten that you don't feel fully aligned with. So
Yeah.
could you tell us a bit more about that and how you handle those situations?
Yeah, so the kind of problem we faced was about her diaper and about her food. And for us, we use cotton diaper, and she even goes to toilet from a very early stage of her life. because you might heard about elimination communication, and like baby loves to eliminate in open space, like same as us. So we wanted to provide as often as possible. And also the idea of cotton diaper is like baby, it's communication with parents, that when they do pee or poo, like we can also support them and we can see the condition and so on. But the kindergarten which we take her, they first accepted the cotton diaper, but then later they say it was too much work for them. So we had to buy disposable diapers, which we didn't really want to. So it was one thing. And another thing about her food, we follow mostly like a vegetarian and a vegan diet. And in the kindergarten, it's not. And they don't provide also like organic food, but more like normal food, I said. And even the snacks, like it's not very healthy. Like, yeah, so all those like food things, we still need to discuss more, and we find a little bit difficult. Yes.
So how do you handle this situation? Because obviously, on one hand, it's amazing that they take, not, it's on one hand it's amazing that they, create more time for you guys, and you can, maintain your healthy relationship and work on this project. But on the other hand, there are some also downsides to it. So how do you discuss with them? How do you deal with this?
Yeah, I feel like first of all we have to appreciate them and respect their work, what they provide for not only for our baby but for the other children. But also we believe like what we are asking is beneficial not only for our baby but for other babies. Like providing more healthier food, organic food, and like more natural way of taking care of baby. So I think we can, while we respecting like their way of treating babies, we can also request other benefit things for other children as well.
Sounds amazing.
How do you coordinate raising a child with building a community and working on this project that is done in village?
I think that they're very similar in a way. They're growing together, kind of community and baby. That's one thing. I think it's very natural.
Yeah, I think the important things is like trust like that like natural force, what the baby has and what our intention has. So if we are based on the trust, like instead of thinking like too many things to put into, I think it grows naturally as well.
Okay. And what role does the community play in raising Aruna?
One very beneficial thing for her is that she meets a lot of different kinds of people, like you guys, and it really develops her like playfulness and running around, and yeah, I think also the environment itself really gives her freedom to express.
Yeah, as you can see, sometimes like even when she's with two of us, we can't make her like stop crying. But once like she appeared to like other people like you guys, she like stopped crying and very started to curious like seeing yours. So I think that's kind of diversity helps a lot for her to have like more like a relaxed atmosphere, or like how can
Like
I say?
realization.
Yeah. Like
Wow.
that.
Yeah, and I can see that compared to other babies that I've met, she's so outgoing and so
Yeah.
comfortable
Yeah,
with
very
other
true.
people, and
Yeah.
it takes her a moment, and then she's just like so happy to be interacting with other people.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
Okay. What is your biggest advice for young parents?
You're
As
young.
we, you too.
You're young
Oh,
as well.
thank you.
Yeah, I think as we pointed out that our problem was like miscommunication or not having enough time for each other. I think my biggest advice is to create time for each other and really support each other in that sense.
Yeah, I would like to say you can they can develop the skill of asking help for others, because sometimes you think you have to do everything by yourself, and like you are very like stuck in your mind and very exhausted actually. So if you can ask even small help, it's gonna be like big support for you. So I think that skill is needed.
Makes
Such a good piece of advice. Yeah.
makes perfect sense.
Both of
And
those things.
yet, so many of us struggle with asking for help.
Yeah.
And how about community? What kind of advice would you give to people who would like to start living in this communal setup?
I would say explore and experience. Like visit different communities and see what fits you and what interests you, and make your own decision from there. I think.
By experiencing different community lifestyle, maybe you finding your own like way that to fit in the community like lifestyle.
Oh, makes lots of sense.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thank you so much, guys, for all of
Yeah.
this information.
Thank you.
It's very useful to hear these things and to learn more from what you have been doing, which is so valuable.
And we've been loving staying here and also, working with you and trying to make this community even more vibrant and bring it to the world, because I
Yeah.
think it's such a wonderful place, and everything that you said before, the combining all those different elements and putting them together in such a beautiful place. You're surrounded by nature, and it resonates very well, I think, with the both of us.
So if you're interested in checking out Dana Village, they have a website which we will link in the description. And if you're interested, they organize retreats every year during the summer. And you can also come here and volunteer, learn something about farming, about holistic health, about so many interesting things that are so beneficial to all of us and are really revolutionary in the way that we are used to living in society nowadays. So definitely check their website. And thank you so much for watching. We hope it was useful, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye.